Today, I'm going to tell you of the warmest, friendliest companion to man, the pug dog. Came to be known in 400 BC as pets of the Buddhist and Tibetan monasteries, they also became known in ancient Chinese documents around 700 BC at the time of Confucius. Pugs are bred for one purpose and one purpose only, and that would be companionship. After the day's sporting events, the smaller pug dogs rode in the chariots with the master, while the bigger dogs followed the chariots. Small dogs were given the same ranks as females in the imperial houses, and they were guarded by soldiers and fed only the best meat and rice. If anyone tried to steal one of these dogs, they were sentenced to death. The short-haired pug had the name Lo Chang Ses, and it was later shortened to Lo Ses. During the Yuan dynasty, which was 1206 to 1333 AD, it was custom to parade all the emperor's animals in front of the guests. After the lions were paraded, the pugs then got their chance. They were described as the golden-coated nimble dogs, and this could have been when the dogs were introduced into Europe. Years later, in 1572, while William the Silent, the King of Holland, was at war with Spain, his pug named Pompey woke him in the middle of the night, just in time for him to avoid being assassinated. He began barking and scratching at his tent while he was camped out at Hermigny, awaiting Spanish forces. He finally jumped on William's face just as the assassins approached the tent. In 1688, the pug was the official dog of the Dutch royalty in the House of Orange. The pugs would attend every ceremony, and while Prince William traveled from Holland to Europe to ascend his throne in England, those pugs wore orange ribbons to show their importance. In 1736, the pug became the secret symbol of the Order of the Pug, which was a group led by the Grand Master of the Freemasons. This is known because of literary and artistic evidence, and that this took place in Spain and Italy after the group was excommunicated by the Pope. By 1790, the pug's popularity then continued on to France, where he was loved by Napoleon Bonaparte's wife, Josephine. The breed was known as the Carlin in French, after a famous actor who played a well-known role of a harlequin. Carlin would be a very good description of the pug's amusing disposition and demeanor. At first, Napoleon refused to let the pug come to their marriage bed at the night. The pug, Fortune, then bit him in the leg, and Josephine said that if the dog would not stay in his bed, then neither would she. From then on, Napoleon allowed the pug to stay and shared his bed with him. Pugs also carried secret messages between the husband and wife under their collars during times of war. One might wonder if Napoleon would not have let the dog stay in his bed. Who knows how history could have changed? This means that the pug played an important role in the formation of French political history, good or bad. British soldiers then sacked the House of Peking and brought pugs back to England in 1860. They soon became one of the most beloved dog breeds. They were brought to America shortly after the Civil War and were accepted into the American Kennel Club in 1885. However, at the turn of the century, as more breeds of dogs were introduced, they lost some of their popularity. From 1900 to 1920, it is shown no record of pugs in the AKC stud books, and only a handful of breeders were registering them. In 1931, a group of East Coast breeders and exhibitors decided to form a Pug Dog Club of America, which was formally recognized by the AKC on December 31st of 1931. As of 1995, over 20,000 new pugs were registered by the AKC. This generated long-lasting popularity for the pug that has extended into the turn of a new century today. Pugs have the number 25 most popular breed out of the 150 that are in the AKC.